Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. And now to honor America, please join in the singing of our national anthem. Representing the three-time Stanley Cup champion New Jersey Devils, Arlette.
I feel like I'm at a game. Oh my gosh. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Happy Devils Tuesday, or is it Monday? Wherever you are, is it Happy Devils Tuesday
here? It's Happy Devils Tuesday
what
here,
is,
Sam.
What is the Let's Go Devils podcast standard time zone? Is it based on New Jersey time?
Well, I would assume so, since we're a podcast for the New Jersey Devils. So, yes, standard time would be New Jersey time, which is East Coast time. It's 3 minutes after midnight.
Oh, okay.
So it's Tuesday.
Well, so it's Tuesday in New Jersey. It's still Monday about 6:30. I don't know, 6 o'clock something Hawaiian time. This is the Let's Go Devils podcast. It's not season 1. It's not season 2. But somehow I made it to Hawaii. This is the New Jersey Devils shorts guy. They're doing their own beach bash. This is the Let's Go Devils podcast, beach bash style. This is what we do. Talking about Devils hockey anywhere around the world. I'm somewhere in the Pacific Islands in Hawaii, in the middle of nowhere. But still, I want to talk Devils hockey with my buddy shorts guy back in New Jersey.
Hold on. What you just said makes no sense. You said you were somewhere in the Pacific Islands in Hawaii. You went vague to specific very quickly.
I think the alcohol and the pina coladas are getting to my head right now. Yeah. So, but this
Sam
is all
on vacation, yet he never stops working.
This is all powered by Primetime Radio. I figured Shorts Guy had the iPad in my carry-on. I was like, I could still do a podcast, even though we told the entire podcast world on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube Live and also streaming live on letsgodevils.com that we were doing a podcast till September 9th, which is the beginning of season 2. But I figured, I had talked. It's been routine doing this podcast with you guys every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, New Jersey time.
Yeah, and it was we decided we were going to take a break, but we're back to it on a Monday, on a random Monday.
Yeah, and also I also brought the horn with me. It's pretty funny. It's
I
pretty
think
funny.
you know what? You know what I got to say, Sam. A lot of Devils fans have probably used that horn to describe what they believe the Devils have done in the offseason.
Okay. Yeah, which is nothing. So
Yeah.
I'm going to pan into a view right now of where I'm at. I'm in Oahu, Hawaii, doing this podcast. And you see how beautiful it is out there. It's not as beautiful as New Jersey. But I figured, I want to show the fans, our listeners and our viewers, the Let's Go Devils podcast that, you know, we're moving up in the world. I mean, we can take this podcast anywhere. We do bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs right now. If you want us to do a podcast, if you're having a Devils Rangers viewing party at your house, there's a price. And of course, the reason why we do this, Shorts Guy, is because we are aimed to have that $35 million jet so we can bring our fans to beautiful Hawaii. Which I'll cut into that view, to be on this beach with our podcast, and I'll just also cut into this where I'm at.
Hey.
See, I'll just wave to everybody on the podcast.
Sam, you sold this to me as I was going to see a sunset, but it looks nothing like the sun is setting.
Yeah, well, that would be at 7:07 Hawaiian time. That's sunset. So that would be at 1:07. And you told me before that you needed to get your sleep in. So, there is a sunset.
That's a lie. I don't need to get sleep this time of year.
Yeah. Well, if you see right now, if you want to pan in, my assistant, if you wouldn't mind panning into the sun, showing the sun is going down here in Hawaii.
Down, but that's not.
Yeah, it's not sunset yet, but if you've seen my beautiful pictures on my Facebook page, I'll cut into back to our feed. That I am in Hawaii right now. Now suddenly I find myself pulling out the iPad, the microphone, and the little tripod. It's like, let's do a little podcast talking Devils hockey. Look, Ray Shero has done nothing. I've seen some of the blogs, the articles out there, Shorts Guy. Sometimes I do feel, although I still have that little conspiracy theory that that they're going on the cheap on purpose, but I still have that hope in Ray Shero that he is just not wanting to overpay and overspend and ruin the nucleus that are the New Jersey Devils, a playoff team in the last season. Would you have to agree with that statement, or do you find them to be a bunch of frugal, cheap owners at this point?
No, I think they've got something good, and I still believe that they're only going to add something if it's going to help enhance the team, and that obviously that nothing they've seen has come across their desks, let's say, that is going to fit this team without screwing up what they have. And there was an article, and I can't tell you who it was by, and I meant to read it all day long. I just couldn't do it. And yes, Mike Lucci just said that Ray Shero is not going to make moves for the sake of making moves. I agree with that. I completely like that and agree. There was an article that was actually that was highlighting the worst signings of 2016, which I meant to read all day. I never got to it. But they're not gonna sign someone just to make a splash. They're only gonna sign if it's gonna help.
Was there a pun? Was there a pun in that splash, Shorts Guy? I just wanted to give a visual what a splash looks like.
Well,
in free agency.
As someone just splashes into the water there. No, there was no pun intended there.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. That our viewers and the people tuning in on the Let's Go Devils podcast on Facebook Live, Twitter, Periscope, YouTube Live, on letsgodevils.com. You can find us on iTunes after the show. We're also streaming live pretty much everywhere right now. This is great. We're doing a live podcast.
Streaming everywhere from everywhere.
So, Shorts Guy, if you decide to go on a trip to Iceland or you go to Sweden, we could do a podcast there. I mean, we could literally do a podcast in Europe, follow the Devils the beginning of the season if we wanted to. But I think we decided Yeah, or we could put Beer Baron on assignment to Sweden to cover the Let's Go to cover the Devils for the Let's Go Devils podcast, and then chime it in to our live event party viewing party
We could
with
have
Grant Marshall.
we could have his parents comment from Sweden because I know his parents are going, I believe.
Oh, okay. You know what? Maybe we should send them an iPad, and then they could give us their unbiased opinion about how the trip was.
Agreed.
Yeah, over there. So, but yeah, so right now it's been a very quiet off season with the New Jersey Devils, and a lot of fans went to that development camp. A lot was said about Mikey McLeod. That he looked strong. I've been reading the message boards, and I've been reading all the Facebook groups and all that kind of good stuff. But also, Ty Smith made a pretty good first impression, and I think it may take him a little bit of time to get up to the big leagues, to the NHL. But then again, you never know. Some of these rookies, they may come out of the gate in training camp and may actually make a roster spot. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I will say this: one person who's been speaking the praises of Mikey McLeod all season has been Beer Baron. He's been waiting for him to come to the big team. Development camp is great. It's all the rookies in one place. You get to see them all at once. But the real telltale sign is going to be when those guys get put into camp in September, and you'll see who is more than willing to raise their game to make the Devils, over playing in Binghamton. So as much as you'll see your top of the development camp, but I think you're really going to see the top of that crew when they get to September, and someone who may be the top of all the rookies may kind of cower when they get on the same ice with the big team. They may not be ready for that. Whereas, amongst their own peers, they're fine. But then when they get amongst, I guess the best way to describe it right now is the elders, if you want to look at it that way. They may kind of shrink back a little bit. Whereas someone who may not, who may be like middle of the road against their peers, they get that opportunity and they seize it, and they may actually do better against that better opponent, which again is, everyone in the same organization. But that's when you're playing against that better level of opponent, you may step up in a way that maybe not so much in development camp, but you get with the big guys, and it may be a whole different game for you.
Well, absolutely. And the other thing too, Shorts Guy, if this organization, which we're seeing, is stressing patience, and we got a good glimpse of what the future could look like, I'd say Ray Shuro, take your time with this, develop them properly. Eventually, that cupboard of young talent, fast, high-skilled talent will come up soon enough, and suddenly you have a stacked New Jersey Devils team, potentially not only be perennial playoff contenders, but eventually contending for the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, and that's what I would rather have. I'd rather have a good core of players that can do it consistently versus buying someone to do it today or tomorrow or only this season and just be a flash in the pan. As long as they don't do what Edmonton did, which was just like collect all these good guys but never find a way to bring them together, which I don't believe they're going to do at all. I'm just saying that's the far end of the other extreme. Like don't just start collecting, which is where you see Ray Shero has not gone after a lot of players. He's not bringing in people to bring in people. He's going to bring in the right player in the right piece when that comes available. Whereas Edmonton kept collecting all these top draft picks, and then look at what they did. They made the playoffs once in the last bunch of years, which is absurd with the roster they have. They should do so much better, but they just can't put it together.
It's all about team chemistry.
Agreed.
It's all about team chemistry, finding the right players, not necessarily the best players, the ones with the most hype. To win a Stanley Cup, you have to have big guys down the middle. You're going to have not only size but speed, and definitely skill from lines 1, 2, 3, and 4. Defensemen, they have to, they have to be that fourth forward at most times and be able to get back and defend the goal in transition. So that's the way the NHL is now. It's not like the NHL when the Devils won 3 Stanley Cups where you could kind of slow them down and chokehold them, and plus you have the advantage of the red line. Now it's wide open right now. And I think that's how Ray Shero is building that team. And if you look across the river, Lou Lamoriello, how he's building the Islanders, it's kind of interesting. I mean, he went after losing the Tavares sweepstakes, he went after these guys that had some muscle and broad. And how is that going to work in the Metropolitan Division? I mean, with Pittsburgh, the New Jersey Devils, the Philadelphia Flyers, the Stanley Cup Washington Capitals with tons of skill and speed. Here's Lou Lamoriello, the big disruptor that leaves Toronto to Long Island. Back, it's like, hey, I'm back. It's almost like he's going back to the old Lou. Getting the big guys. And it's almost old time hockey. How is that going to work out in the Metropolitan Division?
It may not work. I mean, if these big guys are coming in, but they still have speed, then that's fine. But if they don't have speed, they're not going to be able to handle the rest of the Metropolitan Division. It's just too fast.
Yeah.
Just way fast. And speaking of the Islanders, I got to throw a shout out to my buddy Mark, who is listening and watching, who is an Islander fan. So we're bringing in fans from all different teams, not just the Devils. We've got fans.
Are you
Islanders?
Are you serious? Hey, you know what? There are cousins across the river. You know what? If you want to join the Let's Go Devils podcast, hey, you know what? You can also buy this T-shirt as well for $20 at the web store. I don't know. Is anybody listening in or watching it in the middle of the night out in New Jersey right now? But hey, you can buy this. Five.
One of which is me.
Oh, okay. To help support the podcast so we can live our dream and buy that $35 million jet and take our fans, including the Islander fan that happens to be, a fan of the Let's Go Devils podcast, out to these wonderful beach bash trips or live events that we're probably going to hold in the near future. Hey, Shorts guy, I'm running on all battery here in the middle of Hawaii. There's the beautiful sunset. It's starting to go down right now, but I'm not so sure if I can last that long with my iPad at full stream. And I got my laptop here, and I got my cell phone being in use right now. But hey, this is pretty cool. I mean, now none of us has an excuse if they have one of these iPads, one of these primetime radio machines out to do the podcast. You can't, Beer Bear can't say, hey, I'm at the shore, I can't make it. Or should I say, hey, I'm on assignment this weekend, I can't make the podcast. So hey, we can plug him in. I'm sure you'd be happy to do that.
Oh, absolutely. And I was looking up how many miles between you and I, but I can't find a way to drive to Hawaii from my location currently. So, but it does look beautiful there, and we are thousands of miles away from each other, which is absurd. And here we are doing a live podcast.
I think we're 5,666 miles away from each other.
That's
if I
crazy.
did the Google Maps correct, that's crazy. And I'm somewhere. Let me get this right. I'm somewhere in the middle of the Pacific, in Hawaii.
Yep.
Is that how I say it?
Well, yeah,
okay.
you are in the Hawaiian Islands, which is a U.S. state, but actually, if you actually look at the map, the chain of islands actually stretches much further than the ones that we're normally seeing on a map. There are a ton of little islands out there too. So
yes, there are. Right now, the sun is setting. I bet you you're going to get that money shot in about a half an hour. That nice orange glow and all that. I was hoping to get that for the podcast, but I didn't want to delay and start the podcast really late But I know you need your sleep, Shorts guy. I know you need your sleep.
I really don't. I can sleep whenever right at this point.
All right, Shorts guy. I'm going to let's see. Where's that cue out music?
I don't
Oh,
know, but
boy.
someone just jumped
I
in
don't
the
even-
water behind you. They look like they're having a good time.
Oh yeah, somebody did jump in the water behind me. Let's see here. Let's see. Let me cue in this audio real quick. Yeah, let me show you. Let me show you what's going on behind me. This is the great thing about technology. This is our exit cam, right? You know, we're exiting the podcast, and this is what I get. This is what I go to. You know, afterwards. Is that crazy?
That's awesome, man. I'm jealous. I really am.
Hey, look at the sunset. I mean, look at this great. My assistant, the camera lady, is doing such a fantastic job. And let's see here. Let me just merge us back in here. But yeah, I mean, I'm having a great time in Hawaii. Just thinking about the New Jersey Devils. Shorts guy, we got to do this more often. We really should do this more often.
Well, when we have that jet, we'll be able to go wherever we want.
Yes, the jet. Just a reminder, if you want to donate to the show and contribute to our $35 million jet, where we can take our fans out on a live podcast on the road, buy a T-shirt. I'm wearing one right now. I'm going to try to sell to a couple Hawaiians in the streets and tourists, and they can all be fans, right?
Hey, have you met anyone from New Jersey out there while you've been there?
No, I think they all think I'm from Hawaii. Yeah. But anyway, Shorts guy, I think it's time to wrap it up.
Sounds good, Sam.
Any last words?
No, just enjoy the rest of your time in Hawaii, man. I'm jealous. I really am.
All right. Great. All right, man. Well, till next time, let's go Devils.